So in my field, the biological sciences, managing data is really critically important to what we do. As I said previously, we're generating a tremendous amount of data, and our capacity to generate that amount of data is increasing at a tremendous rate. And to be able to effectively mine that data and make sense of that data, we need good management practices to come into play. And so from that perspective, this will allow researchers to not only archive their data and have it in a secure place, but also to data mine. And I think ultimately that's really the goal of what we want to do with this data. We want to be able to conduct experiments and not only just do a first pass, okay, here's what's going on, but later on take that information, put it in with the public stream of data that's coming in, combine all of that data together to really get a sense of how can we mine that data and get even more insights into the processes that we're really studying. And so I think from that perspective, it's really critically important that we really do manage our data.
And one of the things that's changing on the national landscape is that our funding agencies have taken an active role now in essentially requiring us to have a data management plan in place. So the NSF has started that process. We expect other funding agencies to be following shortly. So we have this external requirement now to be able to demonstrate that we're doing things in a way that is consistent, in a way that protects the privacy of individuals, and in a way that will allow data to be used by the public that is served by the funding agencies who are funding our research.
Right, and I think you bring up a really excellent point with the National Science Foundation in the sense that they have required a data management plan be in place for every single grant application that is submitted. What that really looks like, these days it's really nebulous. They actually really haven't defined what that looks like. I think mainly because they don't know what that actually looks like. And it's really interesting because a lot of work is being done to try and put that framework into place. A lot of work being done here at UW. And from that perspective, I think a lot of those thoughts and ideas will be incorporated into that NSF eventual guidelines for that data management plan.
Well, that's a really big issue, very complicated. Visions really should start out being somewhat simple, and they're something that we really should develop together as a community. But overall, my vision is that we would have a portfolio of services that are available to our researchers to be able to help from the very beginning with the planning for your research, so that you have a base of services, whether they're delivered through central utilities or whether they're delivered closer to you within the department level, but services that can help you manage over the life cycle of data. Preservation is going to become increasingly important. Data formats change, media changes, the volumes are going up tremendously. So my vision is that we provide a baseline of services for researchers so that you can be able to manage appropriately and know how to plan to be in compliance with federal laws, regulations, as well as to be able to disseminate your data out to the public where it's appropriate.
Right, and the next 5 to 10 years is going to be really difficult, I think, in the sense that research is becoming more and more multidisciplinary. And so you've got inputs from different various aspects. So even me in the life sciences, I rely really heavily on computational sciences and moving into areas such as engineering and other fields that dialoguing with those folks and really getting a sense of how they manage their data and whether or not we can meet and have common language to be able to disseminate that information to each other is going to be really critically important moving forward. And so where that's going to be in 5 to 10 years, I think right now we're still defining what that landscape looks like. Right. And as more data is being generated, we run into this problem where we have too much data. And then how do we move forward in managing it? And I think, this is something that the funding agencies do definitely recognize. And hopefully, I think in the future, there's going to be open dialogue for that UW can play a role in leading that discussion and playing a really important role in kind of helping that move forward. And I think that's what I see being in the next 5 to 10 years.
And as if it's not complicated enough, we have new developments that are occurring with regard to cloud computing and the capabilities that are emerging. I would say in that 5-year window, we'll see increasing movement towards being able to aggregate services at a much higher level. For example, Internet 2 right now has just announced cloud services related to high performance computing and so on. So I think we will see new developments occurring very rapidly, and then we'll have to deal with some of the issues like where does data get stored, et cetera, how is the privacy protected contractually, et cetera.